Hey everybody, my name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Welcome to the Broken Skull Sessions. People ask me all the time, hey Steve, what does the broken skull mean? Basically it means, in the business that I love, professional wrestling, I had to break my skull to get to the top.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Here on the Broken Skull Sessions, I get into the skull of people that have achieved a high level of success in this industry. I could not start the debut episode of the Broken Skull Sessions with a better guest than I have tonight. One of the biggest, best, greatest of all time. Bottom line, he's on the Mount Rushmore and the greatest character in the history of the business, the one and only Undertaker. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
Good.
Been a minute.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling, 30 plus years, I think, you probably got a pretty good idea how I feel. Overall, I feel good. I made some changes in training and diet and all that, and kind of gave up on thinking I knew it all and opened my mind, and I'll be damned. I feel pretty decent for the shape I'm in, I guess.
You and I have known each other since, give or take, about 1989.
Late 89, yeah.
We started, well, you came through, I was working at the Sportatorium. I think I was still Steve Williams.
Yeah.
And all through that run, until you went to WCW, ended up in 1990 in the WWE as The Undertaker. And of course, finally I would arrive there, and we've worked together. Mm-hmm. We've been around each other a whole lot. But you ran with your crew. I was kind of Lone Wolf McQuade. Yep. And I feel like I know you, but I don't know a whole lot about you.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair statement. Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah, you definitely, you kind of did your own thing. I run with my crew, and business was always there. Business was always fun.
But the thing about it, that we do have a lot in common. The fact that you were born in Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. I was born right down the road in Austin, Texas. Both graduated high school in 1983. Being down there in South Texas, I was changing channels on my television one night and came across Paul Bosch's Houston Wrestling. Mm-hmm. I was hooked, and I was probably about 7 or 8 years of age, and I've been a fan of the business ever since. How did you get turned on to the business, and what made you start loving it?
It's pretty much the same way. Paul Bosch, obviously, I grew up in Houston, so that's where Paul Bosch's Houston Wrestling. I've been a fan as long as I can remember. I used to go down to the Sam Houston Coliseum. A friend of mine lived across the street. Man, we'd psych ourselves up the whole week. Like, they'd bring in the original Sheik. And man, we'd talk all week long. Like, oh, we're gonna get on the, we'd be on the aisle, and we're gonna get on him. That Joker come flying at us, man. We'd be nothing but elbows and assholes running as fast as we could, And, then I thought you were going to do something. I thought you were going to do something. I just have all those vivid memories as a kid, of the Sheik. And I remember they used to do the interviews live. Yeah. And, they'd let all of us run down there. I remember getting to shake Andre's hand. Yeah. I was mesmerized, I don't know what I was, maybe 8 or 9 years old. Yeah. Shook Andre's hand, and it's just, you can't even as an adult, you can't describe how big Andre's hand was, and as a kid, I was just like, oh man. I got away from it and got into other sports and did a bunch of other things, and it kind of worked its way back around, and, I got back in touch with the business. And
I read that you were, you graduated in 1983, mm-hmm. and then you went to college.
Right.
But it says you debuted in the ring in 1984. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Because I thought you came in about a year and a half ahead of me, and I was in the back end of 89.
Yeah, I think I started training in 86. There was a lot of pitfalls along the line. We got hooked up with Buzz Sawyer.
Mad Dog was a trip.
Oh.
Hell of a hand in the ring and a shooter.
Yeah. Now, he big time shooter, and like you said, one of the best in the ring.
Yeah.
As a human being, he fell pretty short. He would come in. There was a few of the guys that would come in that gym and work out, and so he's like, I think Buzz Sawyer's do some training, So we go and we meet with Buzz, and we sit down in some restaurant, and he's like, yeah, I'll train you guys. It's going to be $2,500 a piece. He says, if you bring anybody in, I'll knock off $500 for every guy you can bring in, right? So we paid him. We show up, me and about 8 other guys we'd never met. We all show up at the same time at his house, knock on the front door. Knock on the front door. Finally opens the door, you know. What the hell y'all want? So there stands Buzz Sawyer, butt-ass naked, right? And he completely forgot that he had told us to be there to train, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like I didn't know anything, you know, other than what I'd watched. So I didn't have any ends anywhere, right? So first thing, you go to shake the hand, right? And you remember the old, you know, the worker's handshake, right? So here's this guy who's considered, you know, a tough guy, and he gives me the limp fish, you know, and he's standing there butt naked, right? So I'm already just, my mind is just like, what have I got myself into, you know?
Stuck to basketball.
Yeah, well, at this point, I'm still playing.
Yeah.
This is during the summer.
Yeah.
So anyway, he'd finally get his stuff together and come on out, and then all he'd do is just stretch you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're out in the front yard, you know, in this neighborhood, nice neighborhood, you know. He'd come out and you get down, amateur position, just stretch you and cross face you and everything. So, you know, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is how you break into business, you know. It's tough guy world. So, you know, kept showing up week after week. Still no wrestling ring, right? I think we'd maybe learned to lock up and take an arm. That's about it. All in the driveway in the front yard, you know. You just think,
When we will get to hit the ropes.
exactly, right? When we going to get in a wrestling ring, right? And now, you know, I'm playing summer league basketball, and I'm coming over here getting the crap beat out of me. Well, one day, I don't know if it was my day, I got lucky. Well, so he, you know, it was his turn, we're all in a line, it's my turn, you know, we get down. Well, somehow or another, I turned him.
Yeah.
And I put him on his shoulders so I don't, you know, it might have been a half second, because I was shocked, right? Because, you know, usually by a half second, I'm getting a forearm across my nose, and my nose is stretched across my face, and like I froze. Like, I was like, whoa. And about that time, he come up, man. Oh, my gosh. He stretched me from, you know, 10 ways from Sunday. But anyway, and each week, you know, each time we show up, there'd be a few less guys, right? Until it got to the point where there was 4 of us that showed up. And so we knock on the door one day, peek in the window. It's ghost town in there. He packed up and moved to another territory. Wrestling ring never got there. I'm still waiting on that wrestling ring to get in the backyard. The only thing he did, I guess he had to leave, you know, back then when you worked territories, you had a starting date. Anyway, he had two really nice Rottweilers that he must not have been able to take with him.
Yeah.
So I stole his Rottweilers.
You continue to this day be a huge dog guy.
I love. But I took the dogs. I was like, I'm getting something out of this, right?
How long did you have the dogs for?
I gave them good homes.
Yeah.
I mean, because I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
At this time, you know,
He just pulled a Hank and left the dogs.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
God dang.
Oh.
What are you thinking? I mean, I ain't giving up. I'm showing up.
Yeah, it's in my blood now.
Yeah.
You know, and I hadn't even had a good taste of anything yet.
Yeah.
But I knew that this was what I wanted to do.
What did you learn in Memphis? What was the learning shops for you? Because you're trapped in this body that would ultimately become a gift. But in that territory, not everybody went to the gym.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
So basically, you learn what the business is all about there, or the way, you know, especially the way it was, and it still is now, you know, for that matter. My first trip in there, I had to eat some crap sandwiches and do some things that I was like, I said, there ain't nobody in this building thinks I can't whoop everybody in here.
Yeah.
And, you know, and on top of that, they bring in and don't know what to do, who's greener than I am. They bring in Soul Taker, who would, who would come, you know, turn out to be Papa Shango and Godfather and all that, right? Yeah. Well, so they didn't know what to do with him, so they put us together.
I got to come in on this one because, man, I remember when you guys were a tag team because you was about to come down to Dallas and you was going to work with me. And then I was about to get shipped up to Tennessee, and that's where the story comes. You guys were together.
Right.
It was like these two gigantic guys Very intimidating.
Yeah.
Very intimidating because you always had this look about you that kind of says, hey, don't F with me to begin with. And with that size, I mean, it works for you know what I mean? So you were coming in, and all of a sudden I find out I'm working with the Punisher. Of course, I'd heard about you, and I'd seen you, and I was like, well, I'm 6'2", 252. I'm a former football player. This guy's a big son of a bitch, but I remember you come up to me, and because you're going to be calling a match, and you go, hey, man, obviously you can see I was kind of built, not by today's standards, but,
you rocked up.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Yeah.
don't have to be so modest, brother. It's your show.
So I was all hooked up. And so we go out there, and dude, I don't know if you remember this or not, but this is the way I remember working with you. Back in the day, you used to call your stuff like when we locked up, you grabbed a headlock on me.
Mm-hmm.
You grabbed a headlock on me. All right, kids, one tackle, drop down, hip toss, Boy, after all those saws, and because you're trying you're basically trying to be a ventriloquist.
Exactly.
And you're covering up with those verbals. So I've always had a hearing problem, and so I ain't hearing nothing. And I told you, what? And you sawed and called the high spot again, and I said, what, one more time? And he called again after the third, what? Bam, 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 just started chopping meat, and I'm thinking, God dang, I got to get some hearing aids so I can hear these guys trying to shine me up. And so anyway, it was a horrible match because I was so green. And when I look back, and maybe when you look back at yourself, your posture, your blows on the back are the glancing blows, and you gotta go, vertically down.
Yeah.
I wasn't honed up at all. A lot of holes in my game, and I was just a drizzling shits. And you could see that I was lost. And we're out there, cluster effing around. But what were do you remember that match at all?
I do remember it. And I remember being in your spot.
Yeah.
When I come through the first time, and you weren't some scrub. You had a look about you. So I said I can still get over. I can still get my hand raised, but I can make it mean something. And even though all right, I'd been in the business a couple years longer, but I'm not where I'm at today. So
you weren't refined.
Yeah, well, exactly. So this is like, you definitely at that point, you don't want to have any bad matches.
Correct.
Right? And I'm like, okay, that's 3 times I've said it. I got to do what I got to do at this point.
I agree.
And that's why it was that way. Yeah. I mean, I tried.
You did.
I tried.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of the beast, and that's how it is.
Hey man, it's a survivor's business.
It is a survivor's business.
I got to get your read on this story. I go up Tennessee, and I'm looking around. You're already there. Soul Taker's there. I want to get back to your stories.
Right.
But here's where I come into some of your stories. You guys, you may have been green, but I was greener, and all of a sudden we're out there. I believe it was Louisville, Kentucky. It's a 6-man tag match, and it was you and Soul Taker and somebody else, myself, Dutch Mantell, and somebody else were your opponents. And when I just come to the territory, so I needed someone to ride with.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, hey man, why don't you call the Punisher? He's from Texas. Maybe you guys might get along and you can ride the show with him. I guess you're working baby, then you switched heel. Something happened, but I called you up on the phone, and we had kind of squared up a ride, and then they changed the card, so we're going to be working against each other. So you called me and said, hey, man, we can't ride to the show together because I'm working heel. And I said, all right, man. I said, just watch yourself out there. I said, I'm going to stretch you. And I said, I'll see you there. You remember the story? I'll let you take over.
Well, I don't remember it being that pleasant.
Yeah.
When I heard it, which was probably over a payphone.
I hate phones.
I was like, it was one of those moments like I was like,
oh, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't say that, So then I called Dutch, or either Dutch I think Dutch might have even been staying at my apartment there.
Yeah.
I was like, what he just said to me? He said he's going to stretch my ass. He said, what are you going to do about it?
Oh, Dutch.
Right, and that was all it took. Okay, no. This ain't going to go down like that, right? So we got in there. I think I had you locked up some way, and I remember Dutch leaning over going, all right, let him up, And
you had me tied up 6 ways from Sunday and a couple damn different chutes, sugar holes, whatever you want to call them. I'm just laying there like, Man, because you weren't hurting me, but you just had me tied up. I
Right.
couldn't do nothing unless you let me go. And I'm thinking, really? I mean, what is this all about? I thought we were supposed to hit the ropes and stuff. And so I tagged out. The other guy went in, and Dutch looked over him and goes, "Hey, what'd you do? Did you piss him off?" Dutch stirred the pot.
He's stirring it all up.
And so I'm the idiot on the apron. He goes, "Hey, when you get back in there, well, when Soul Taker comes in there, pick his big ass up and slam him." Oh, yeah. So thanks, Dutch. Call him the high spots where I go in there, pick up big ass Soul Taker, 330, and slam him. And that didn't go over real well.
I can't imagine that going over real good either.
He yelled me up after the match. He goes, "Listen, brother," he goes, "you don't just roll into a ring and pick me up and start slamming me." He goes, "I'll either tell you to, but you just don't." I mean, he let me know that I had screwed up.
Yeah.
So what got you out of there and into WCW?
So about that time is when Sid got hurt. When the Steiners had suplexed Sid, Sid, I think, broke a rib and punctured his lung. And then when Sid went down, there wasn't a whole lot of 6'8" guys
Yeah, man.
running around. So they called down there, I think probably through Dutch, and said, "Hey, you want to come up here and be part of the Skyscrapers?"
Damn right you do.
You damn right. I was.
Well, y'all look good together too.
Yeah, I mean, you got two 6'8" guys, and back then Danny could still move, and Dan's another one of them legit tough guys.
Salty.
Salty. Danny was legit.
I had always heard.
Yeah, Danny was legit. I got a great story. So, Danny and I are together, and they're getting us ready for the Road Warriors. They were going to have a Chicago street fight, a big pay-per-view, and we had one of those, one of the clashes. You remember the clashes?
Yes, yeah.
They were free.
Yeah.
They were like the mini pay-per-view before the big pay-per-view, and we were going to get our heat, right? So we have our match. At the end of the match, before we go out, Danny says, "Just follow my lead, kid." That's all I got, right? So we have our match. We do our,
How long had y'all been together at this time?
We had been together a few months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if he says follow your lead.
Yeah, I'm following his lead.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
I'm still the greenhorn. I don't, and now I'm in a role where, stakes are way higher. So I've gone from the regional territory to one of the big companies now. So we have the match. At the end of the match, we're gonna get the heat, right? Get some heat, leave them laying. Well, Danny remembered he didn't like the booking up to this point. So Danny pulls out a chair, and he commences to whooping the Road Warriors like ain't nobody seen the Road Warriors get whooped, right? And I'm just kind of there filling up space. But Danny was going to town to the point where I'm like, we're gonna fight, once we get backstage, So I'm still green enough, like I'm still into that Road Warrior mystique.
Yeah. They popped it.
Yeah, when they were.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
so
get you.
I'm still green enough to think that the Road Warriors are they're some bad dudes, which they were, but
Yeah.
so I'm just watching, and I'm gathering all this in, and Danny is just wearing them out, right? Boom, finishes. He said, "Come on." So we go back up. We were in Corpus Christi, Texas. Remember that old arena right there on the water? We walked up the stairs, and then the dressing room was in there, right? So we come up, and I sit down, and Danny's probably 4 feet or so down, and I'm right by the door here, right? And I'm on the edge of my chair, I'm like, we're about to fight. I'm talking to myself, I said, as soon as they come up, we're about to go. So I can hear, coming up the steps, right? And I've already got myself worked up. So I've got myself perched on the edge of my chair, right?
About to jump the gun.
Yeah, I'm about to, as soon as somebody says something, I'm coming, right? And I kid you not, they come around the corner, and they were like, "Oh, Danny, thank you, man. That was great. That was awesome, great heat, right?" And Danny just sitting there, and I'm just sitting there baffled. I'm like, what the hell has just happened here? Yeah, I'm completely like dumbfounded for any explanation of what just happened, right?
Right.
And then finally they worked their way down, and good job, kid, and went on about their business, right? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, and then finally I just kind of cocked my head and I looked down at Danny. This is what I get from Danny. I just get a. Then I knew. I knew that was Danny.
Right.
Danny knew how they weren't going to test Danny at
Right.
all. So we get back. We end up getting back to Atlanta. Daddy drops me off at the Ramada. He goes, "Hey, Mark, when you get to TV tomorrow, tell Ole I'm going home. I'm done." "What do you mean you're done?" He goes, "Nah, I had enough. I'm going home." Drop me off. Don't see him again. He just drives off.
So you go into a singles role, right?
Now I've been working my way up as a single. My contract comes up, right? And then, so I'm thinking I'm gonna get a little bump, right? So I go in. I remember Jim Hurd and Jim Barnett and Ole Anderson all in the, in the CNN tower there. I said, "Well, tell you the truth, kid, you're a great athlete." He says, "But there's no one's ever gonna pay money to see you wrestle."
Boy, you talk about a dagger shot to the liver.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. Did I just hear that? Like, and it was Ole. He looked me square in the eyes, didn't blink when he said it. He says, "No one will ever pay money to watch you wrestle." And I knew at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done here.
And so all of a sudden, they got nothing for you. No one's going to pay nothing to see you wrestle.
Yeah.
You're trying to go to the big show, which we all know that's really where you want to be.
Yeah, it was another hit to my pride. I was like, okay. That became kind of difficult at that point. Paul Heyman was my manager at this point. And so Paul's kind of relaying the information like, look, they're not going to do anything with this guy. Why don't you see if you guys can do something with him?
Paul sees something.
Yeah, Paul saw something. Yeah. And he's trying to, he's trying to get the door open for me.
Yes.
I remember I'd already set up a meeting to, come meet with Vince. I'm just thinking, okay, well, one, I'm going to the house, right? I'm going to Vince's house. So I'm like, oh, I got this, right? Yeah. So, I go to the house. Here's a good story too. So, I don't know, did you ever go to the China Club in New York?
No, I always heard about it.
So,
yeah.
So Paul,
I know he was tied in.
Oh, he was tied in deep, right? So we had worked in the Meadowlands, and my meeting was going to be the next day. So he goes, okay, well, we'll go to the China Club tonight, and then we'll go back, and then they were sending the car service to pick me up. I'm golden, right?
Yeah.
So back then had the Zubaz, tank top, cowboy boots, and Halliburton. I had that. That was the look, right?
All the trademark stuff.
Yeah, all the trademark stuff. So I had to go buy some clothes, right? And Paul had this little bitty sports car. So I go to sit down in his car, right? And I ripped the ass completely. I ripped the ass out of those pants. I mean, there's a hole in my pants and now I'm headed to the China Club, right?
Of course you are.
But more importantly on my mind is tomorrow morning, I'm going to Vince's house and meet with Vince, right?
Yeah.
And I'm freaking out now, like, Paul. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll get one of these girls, one of the girls will sew them up. It'll be fine, right? I'm like, Paul. I was like, come on. I said, I got to get these fixed. No, they'll be able to do it, right? So we go to the China Club, right? China Club is, there's so many people in there, you can't hardly even move, right? There's nobody got time to sew up a pair of pants as much,
Yeah.
So I sit down all night long in one spot because I don't want to walk around with my damn ass hanging out of these pants, right? So, it's 4 a.m. by the time we get back to his house, and I'm trying to dig through some of his mom's needling thread. I ain't sewed nothing, right? And I'm trying to sew these pants up, right? Piecemeal them together, right? So it's all I can think about, right? They pick me up the next day. I go to the house, right? And I'm trying to keep my back away from everybody because I don't want them to see these pants that I showed up, all ragamuffin. We have the meeting, and the meeting's going along pretty well. I feel like I'm being, I'm being pretty charming, and then I get the question, you got any hidden talents? So I'm trying to be funny, right? I'm trying to, I'm a pretty good singer. I sing in the shower pretty good, And as soon as I said it, I knew I shouldn't have, right? It was just like, oh crap! I mean, this is the time they got some pretty outlandish gimmicks going on, And I'm just thinking, oh crap! I wish I hadn't said that, And Vince, how he is. Oh really? You sing in the shower, huh? And then on the inside, I'm just cringing. Like I'm no selling on the outside, but on the inside, I'm thinking, man, you screwed up, man. You're gonna be shower boy or something like that, So we get to the end of the meeting, and it's like, well, we don't really have anything for you right now. I'm like, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I'd already given my notice. I'm done. I'm already done with WCW at this point. That was it. I was like, wow, I didn't plan on that happening. So, you know, I've already been told by one company they ain't nobody gonna pay money to see me. Now this guy's, you know, he don't have a spot for me. Maybe after Mania. And I mean, we're still talking months and months away at that point, you know. So I'm trying to stay positive. You know, I know I've got it in me somewhere to, you know, to make it somewhere. But it was a little shaky there for a minute.
So you're hanging on by a thread. You're doing what you can to maintain, get by, and then there's a phone call. And I want you to tell me about your version of the phone call, because I got, you know, kind of the same phone call you got.
Right.
And, you know, back in when the phones was attached to the wall, and you know, we had a 15-foot cord, you know, big time.
Oh, yeah.
You actually walk around.
You were doing good, man.
Yeah.
You were doing good.
And I got the phone call. And goes, "That's Steve, Vince McMahon. Got an idea for you, pal. Want to bring you as a ringmaster. Have Ted DiBiase as your manager. Bring you in as a $1 million champion. So you come in as a champion. You're the master of the ring." Boy, I'm sitting there like, well, I'm working for Paul Lee, you know, 1 day a week, ECW. And, you know, WCW fired me because they said I wasn't marketable and I was never going to amount to a hill of beans over the phone. So I'm kind of, I've got a lot in common here. And I heard that gimmick and it sounded like crap, but I'm just thinking, hey, man, you know, I got a wife and a kid and I got a mortgage payment. Yeah, I'm a ringmaster. But
Exactly.
you know, I just knew it was my foot in the door. I wasn't excited about it.
Yeah.
So that was my phone call. And I know you got a phone call as well. So where were you at this time? But before you tell me where you were at this time, got something for you.
Yeah, before I get into this story, I'm gonna need some of that. That's what I'm talking about. Why'd you wait so long?
I didn't know if you still drink anymore.
Well, I don't much, but when I do, I do. So that's perfect, man.
Let's get to the phone call because, you know, I said
So-
flapping my gums, but
No,
you
no.
got this big ass phone call.
So hang on, I need this memory here. Come here. So about the time I got my phone call, they were doing this promotion where on the show, you know, back then they would do 3-4 weeks in a row. They had this gigantic egg on the set. Yeah, you got it. There it is. So now I'm at home, right? And I'm trying to think, you know, everything I can do. I'm trying to grow my hair out. You know, I'm trying to come up with a different look, whatever it's going to take, right?
We're always searching.
So this egg appears on the show, right? And then all of a sudden my mind just starts going like, oh man, they're going to bring me in. Now this is how outlandish the gimmicks were then too. Like I'm
Agreed.
I'm going to be Eggman. I had convinced myself to the point where like my stomach hurt, like I'm going to be Eggman.
Yeah. Are you a worrywart? Huh? Are you a worrywart?
No, I'm as chill usually, but this is I'm in a different point now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at a different point than I was. I've already you know had a few doors slammed in my face at this point and have struggled and you know to be told that I'm you know no one's going to pay to see me work. So I'm going through all these scenarios. You know I'm growing my hair out right. I got the bogus ponytail that sticks out straight. You know, and I'm like oh man, I'm gonna be Eggman. They're gonna make me shave my head. They're gonna make me shave my eyebrows. They're gonna make me shave everything. I'm gonna be Eggman. That's gonna be my gimmick, right? And I've got myself believing that I'm gonna come out of this egg right here, and that's what's gonna be. I'm gonna be Mr. Clean or whatever, right? I'm just like, please don't call. But I just know it's me, right? So one day, phone rings. Go pick it up, like we used to have to do. Go pick the phone up. Hello. Yeah, is this the Undertaker?
God.
Now this is going through my mind, right? Now Vince, he's already,
Yeah.
and I'm not even sure that it's Vince, but I think it is, but I'm not sure. Like I'm thinking somebody might be ribbing me, right?
No caller ID.
Yeah, no caller IDs, right? Is this the Undertaker? So I'm thinking in my head like quick, right? I'm like Undertaker. Well, that sure as hell ain't Eggman. Yeah, this is the Undertaker. All right, can you? This is Vince. Can you be up here tomorrow? Yes, sir. I'll be up there tomorrow. And that was. I had no clue what Undertaker, what that was, what it meant, but it sounded a whole lot cooler than Eggman. You know.
So you hang up. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, all right, here we go. You know, I don't know what
Got one on the line.
I got one on the line. I don't know what it is, you know, but like you said, my
Yeah.
foot's in the door
Yes,
now.
sir.
And then, you know, I got up and yeah, these are some of the, you know, and I was like, I was mesmerized right away by it.
So what are you thinking? Because, man, you come from old school and you come from WCW, and it was that working territory. You were wearing the trunks, athletic dude, and now this is a total gimmick. This is a character.
Yeah.
You're an athlete,
Yeah.
but right away you're entranced by it.
I'm entranced by it because there's always, you know, I mean, there really is a darker element, the stuff that I really used to kind of be interested in. So I started identifying, you know, because, you know, he's the storyboards, you know, he's an old Western Undertaker.
Yeah.
And you remember in the old Westerns where, you know,
Oh,
they'd have the gunfight out in Main Street, and then the Undertaker would come out and measure to see how long, you know, he's going to make the box, right? So I'm, you know, thinking, okay, you know, that's cool. But it took me a while to put it all together. At that point, I'm doing leapfrogs, drop downs. I'm still working like Mean Mark. And then I'm starting to study now. Now I'm kind of figuring out what this guy is, you know, and trying to get Vince's vision. And then I'm figuring out like, okay, all right. So it took me a minute to like, okay, yes, you can do these things athletically, but they don't really fit what this guy's going to do. So for years, then I would, you know, I had to slow myself down so much from what I wanted to do.
Yeah, because you're always, as a big guy, you're looking for that next gear.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's time, I mean, you want to be able to hit that high gear.
Yeah.
And now, but see, it's interesting because I was wondering how you changed your style so fast. Because when you showed up at Survivor Series, dude, when you came out there, they showed the front row, kids were scared.
From Death Valley, I give you The Undertaker.
The Undertaker, the mystery partner, is now revealed.
I never heard of
Oh, take a look.
Holy cow! Look at the size of that ham hock! Check out them drumsticks, baby!
320 pounds, looks to be 6'9", 6'10", somewhere in that neighborhood, Rod.
6'10"? I don't know, it's hard to tell from here. Holy cow!
They were legitimately scared, and I was watching, dude. I was watching at the house. I was like, man, I was like, holy shit. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
And dude, I was 20-something years old. I was like, dude, that's badass.
Yeah, it was cool. The look, everything was really cool. It just took me a while to put it together.
So how were you able to change your style so fast? Because, I mean, it was a light year of change from what you were used to doing.
Yeah, as I thought more about the character and what I could do athletically, my presentation became, I want to lull people in. I want to stalk somebody when I get them hurt. You know, I want people to feel like the boogeyman is coming down the hallway and going to grab you, right? That's what I was trying to, you know, and honestly, I don't know why, but it clicked. That right there, Michael Myers and then Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, I started thinking about how those guys were. Like, those guys never moved fast at all, but they always seemed to be at the right place when it was time to cut somebody's throat.
And it was vicious.
And it was vicious.
Yeah.
So I would move slow, and I'd have to make myself, because believe me, there was that time where I wanted to hit the ropes and take off and throw that flying clothesline, but I realized that it's not going to work if the work doesn't match the character. And the character lent itself to being the boogeyman. Right. And the boogeyman just shows up. So I would lull people into a false sense, and then all of a sudden, bang, quick, I'd hit something fast. Boom, and then right back, throttle it back down.
Right.
It took a while to where I didn't have to think about it. And I eventually got to where, you know, it was second nature.
Yeah.
But I had to fight it at first because I just wanted to go, and because I was like, dude, you can jump over this rope and land on your feet if you want to do that. And it would have been fine, but that whole thing would have fizzled out in 3 years.
I agree.
So I had fortunately, and I don't profess to be, any kind of guru or anything. I was just blessed to realize the fact that I needed to pull back to move forward.
And you realize at that point, because you said it in past interviews, less is more.
I'll say that till the end of time. To this day, I think that's an element to where these guys are at today. We talked about it. The guys are so athletically gifted now. I don't know that they can go any higher than what they go.
Right.
But after that, does your audience care? You identified so well. I mean, you're the working man's hero. You got to do what everybody, I think, in the world wants to do to their boss.
Yeah.
But it was natural. People
Yeah.
believed if they saw you in the street, if you didn't, probably if you didn't have a couple beers in your hand
Yeah.
and flipping somebody off, they're like, wonder what's wrong with Steve today.
He's taking a day off.
And in the same way, I lived my gimmick. I lived it for years and years, and it was easier before there were cell phones and everything. Everywhere I went in street clothes, even though I wasn't in my black leather coat, I was in black. I didn't talk much. I lived it because I knew I couldn't be different than what they saw on TV.
Yeah.
I never stopped working.
Yeah.
I never.
Right.
You go to my house back then, open up my closet, I dare you to find something that wasn't black.
Right.
I lived it. And I never tried to put myself in situations where I had to be anything other than what people saw on TV. They got a slight variation because I was in street clothes, but they never got much more than that.
You lived it.
I lived it, and I think it worked.
We get Survivor Series, you go out there, all those guys, they're just trying to have a good match.
Right.
It's a tag match, 8-man tag. And then you spike Coco Beware, he's gone. Mm-hmm. You threw the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, over top rope. Spiking Coco's one thing.
Throwing the
Bless
Dream.
his heart. Throwing the Dream over the top rope. How'd that feel? Because, he's one of the greatest, he's one of the GOATs.
So, yeah, obviously one of the GOATs now. And two, I'm not 2 or 3 years down the line. I'm a few months into this project here.
Yeah.
And I still, I still to this day, the flares and the roads and the races and steamboats, they're up there.
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
what people say, about me or anything. Those are the guys.
Yeah.
And, here I am. So trying to contain, it's like, I'm thinking in my head, I just threw the American Dream over the top rope, And then after all the negativity that I got, and I'm not going to be able to draw, and I'm not going to do this, and there you are in this big pay-per-view, and you have, even early, when you have your audience.
Right.
And I knew.
You're feeling it?
I felt it. It was quiet in a good way. Not quiet because you're stinking the joint out.
No, but there's that different kind of silence. Like, there's a thing, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly, and I felt that. I had been around long enough to know that there
you
was
were
something
schooled
special.
up. By the time you got your green light and this great gimmick, which you would personify it and make come alive, and I don't think, and I've talked with some of the best, and no one could have pulled this off other than you, but you're feeling it.
Yeah.
But what are the guys thinking? Because the other guys in the ring, they got to be a little bit madder than a Hornet. Because, you're so competitive and out there having to have this match, and you come in with the green light and the invisible force field, and you ain't selling nobody's stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't well received. Those guys are all veteran guys. They'd all had runs.
Dog eat dog, brother, survivor.
It's a nature of the beast.
Right.
And that's how the business continues.
Your time
to
came
evolve.
around.
It was my time, but they weren't happy about it. No.
But how did that make you feel? Because they lit me up a little bit, in one TV taping, I worked with two of the Freebirds. I beat Ron Garvin and Michael P.S. Hayes. And, dude, I used to go down to see the original Freebirds at Sportatorium, just like you did. And those guys were gods. To watch Michael Hayes make an entrance with that dang robe he had on and get on that second turnbuckle and start gyrating his hips. And they're blasting Bad Street or whatever, Freebird or whatever they're doing, but fighting the Von Erichs, those guys were gods. And I took two of them out at a TV tape, and I'm like, man, I ain't worthy. Or when I beat Bobby Eaton for the TV title at WCW, I ain't worthy. I can't lace this guy's boots. Here you are, and all of a sudden, you finally got the green light you're looking for. Yeah. You got to go with it.
You got to go with it.
But on the other hand, I think because guys are like you and me, come from the same background, you're kind of like, man.
Yeah.
Beat so-and-so, man, it don't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right because, that's an idol. And then here you are, you got the thumbs up, and that's the way it is. That's the nature of the beast. And I had to deal with that internally. But first guy I went and saw when I got backstage, Dusty Rhodes and thanked him. You know,
Yeah.
this is somebody that I grew up idolizing and watched so many matches of, and there he is, and you're in total control, and you're making him look like a jabroni. You know, never that Dusty would be a jabroni, but you get my analogy.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
You know, there was so much emotion coming at me. You know, there's all the stuff that I'm getting. I'm getting the no one's ever going to pay money. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have anything for you.
Yeah.
Eggman.
Yeah.
And it all comes full circle, and you know your time is coming. You know, and I still had no idea
Where it was
where it was going to go, but I knew I was further along at that moment than I had been. You know, I knew that all the work, all the door slams, everything to that point had paid off, and I was on my path. Like I said, I didn't know where the path was going, but I knew I was in a better place than I was
Right.
a month ago.
So Vince comes up with this gimmick. He drops it on you in a phone call. You go up, you're putting in the work. And so originally, it's really a collaboration between you
Yeah.
two guys. And from the pictures I've seen, Bruce Pritchard, he's seen, you know, he's almost like he's talking to you about a promo, and he's very animated. So who had handprints or fingerprints on helping you bring this thing to life? Because from a work standpoint in the ring, when you were Mean Mark Callis, or you're a skyscraper, or you're the Punisher, you can go ask a Dutch Mantel or any of the guys, hey man, what you think about my match? Or
Right.
you got any advice for me? Dude, now you're the unknown.
Right.
You're the dead man. You're the Undertaker.
Right.
Who do you go to for advice?
There's one guy. Guess him. There's one guy.
Well, I mean, we're taking Vince out of the equation?
Vince is out of the equation. We're talking about one of the boys.
Okay, one guy. I don't know.
Jake.
Really?
Not so much in my delivery or what I said, but he had such insight
Yeah.
into characters.
Jake the Snake
Jake
Roberts.
the Snake Roberts, man. Brilliant. Brilliant mind.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable the insight that he gave me in how to put that gimmick together. And he would tell me, you know, like what he would listen to Pink Floyd, or he would listen to Black Sabbath,
Yeah.
which that got me, okay, I'm probably gonna get some heat for this, but you know, I would look in the Bible at different verses, and you know, back then it didn't bother me as much that if I'd alter it around a little bit, you know, who am I telling, right?
Yeah.
So I started looking outside of the box and how to put all this together and become this character. And I heard, and he wasn't even telling me this, but I heard him tell, he says, once the music starts, you are that person, you know. I probably took it a step further, because I stayed that person for a long, you know, for the first probably 5-6 years. I
Right.
never varied hardly much at all. But he had so many good, innovative ways to put things together and to look at different aspects of the business that no one got. And he was kind of, you know, Jake never was a screamer, you know. And that was the one thing that I knew I wasn't going to be. I knew I was always it was going to be a slow, methodical promo. And then when Paul Bearer came along, and then it was easy, because he had the high-pitched, squeak, you know, creepy thing, you know, that got people going, oh, and then I would come in with, you know,
Yeah.
rest in peace, you know. Always thought, you know, you get people screaming and hollering, well, unless the message is good, they don't really listen, you know.
Right.
But if somebody starts talking low, what the hell is he saying?
Yeah.
You know, he's going, what? He's going to put you in the ground, and the worms are going to eat your rotting flesh. You know, it's just stuff that people hadn't heard
Right.
in the wrestling world. And they become, you know, thank goodness, they become enthralled with the darkness and the, you know, how morbid the stuff was that we were doing. And then it really gelled well.
I want to get to the body of work, because to me, like, the body of work would be like a guy coming in territory to get over. And this is a story I heard, and I believe it to be true, that when Jake first came into maybe New York for the first time, you know, he was going out there and trying to have really good matches. And, you know, Vince calls him over and he says, hey man, what the F are you doing? He goes, I'm trying to have good matches with these guys. He goes, I didn't bring you to have good matches. I brought you in here to get over. And so that's when Jake started taking more and getting over. And then, You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So when I look at, kind of those first couple years, it wasn't like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're not going out there to try to have 5-star classics, which you would ultimately go back to. And some of those later WrestleMania matches, you would be match of the year. But to me, it seemed like that the mission was to get that character over. You're an attraction. Other guys are going to bing, bang, boom, do this. But you've got to get this character over and sustain, and god dang it, and who thought it was going to last 30 damn years?
Right.
But is that a correct assessment?
No, that's very correct. And you have to, what I had to do early on is I had to put my ego aside for the sake, I couldn't
Try to have a good match.
I couldn't get in my own way,
Yeah. Wow.
That was difficult because you get to see all these guys going out there and tearing it down, and knowing inside you, like
Athletically.
yeah. I can do all of that, and I'm 8 inches taller, and I'm 100 pounds heavier. And
Yeah.
I can do that, but no one would care. You go out and 8 to 10 minutes, do your stuff, and people are enthralled. And it took me a minute to figure it. It's like back to the less is more.
Yeah.
And it gradually becomes second nature. But it was a struggle, my own ego, because you got these guys out there just tearing it down, and you can't see what the audience is saying. All you're seeing is because your pride,
And you're hearing the pops.
You're hearing pops.
Yeah, you're hearing that ride.
You're hearing all that, but you don't realize you're getting different pops. Your reactions are going to be different than what Bret Hart's are.
Yeah.
His is going to be if he's out there giving a 5-star match, and
Yeah.
you're getting in because you roll your eyes back and ain't nobody ever seen no shit like that.
Yeah.
Right? And you're a machine because nobody can drop you, and you just keep coming. I wish I could say I had the presence of mind. I guess maybe I did, but I consciously it just happened, and I didn't. There's not any kind of. It was a lot of studying and putting things together in the way of what am I going to do to separate myself and make myself different from what everybody else does, and not get in my own way while I do it.
Right.
You have to believe in what you're doing. It didn't take long, and then I was like, okay, they get it. They get what I'm doing. When people start asking you, are you really dead?
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times early on I got, are you really dead? And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, as you sell, and you don't acknowledge them, and you're like, this guy just asked me if I was really dead or not. I'm like, really?
Man, the gimmick is going, and then you shift gears a couple of times along the way. Talk to me about, you've said it many times, it was always finger on the pulse. You've lasted for so long, and changed gimmicks. I mean, we did a panel with JBL Legends a couple of years back. It was me, Shawn, and Triple H. And it's like, dude, distinctly different departures from the original Undertaker. And then you end up going back to it. And so for many people, that would be career suicide.
Yeah.
But we said, dude, everything the guy does is authentic, is him, or to him it's a shoot, and it always worked with the people. So just tell me about riding edge of a damn razor blade for so long and not falling off either way.
Yeah, I think probably that's my best attribute of anything that you say is being able to figure out. I always felt like if I started feeling stale, my audience is probably feeling it before me, because you get wrapped up in what you're doing. So the small changes, the breaks at the right time, but I don't think I would have made it through if I hadn't have changed when I did to go to the American Badass. I would have made it. The character I don't think would have lasted through the Attitude Era. I was too handcuffed for our content.
Right.
And to tell you the truth, I'd already been there, 9 years, 10 years already doing. I made some changes, but I needed the handcuffs off. I needed to let go and then let them see just a different variation, which opened the door to how when I brought the gimmick back, then I was allowed, like you said, to I kept a little bit of everything, you know. And
Man, what a good read that was and attitude there, because I agree with you, because everything was edged up.
Oh, yeah.
And as the American Badass, when you come zooming down, what were those, Titan motorcycles? What were those?
there were all kinds. There were Harleys. There were West Coast.
Whatever they were.
Yeah.
It was rolling,
Titans.
ripping down to the ring. Pure drilling right here, right?
Oh yeah, it's all on the line right here.
Yeah.
I've rolled the dice.
Yep. Ain't no taking them back.
Ain't no taking it back from this point.
Watch these feeds. Oh, great boot. Oh, sidestep, shit can. Big air, one hand. Attitude. Oh, what did I just do? Boom, big right hand to the forehead. Watch this post up. Hi, see ya. Wham, good flat back road dog. Oh, here we go. I love her.
She's the greatest.
Yeah. Oh no, I just stepped in a pile. I'm sorry.
This is a good one. He'll post.
Oh, absolutely. Oh. Oh, beautiful spike. How was that?
That was nerve-wracking. Like you said, when I hit, so many variables there. One, the bike.
Yeah.
Now, I'd been off close to almost a year at that point.
What surgery?
Well, I left originally. I had a groin, big-time groin injury. And about 3 weeks before I come back, I tore my pec. So it ended up being close to 8 or 9 months that I was off TV.
Yeah, dude. And when you're gone, I mean, that's career suicide.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the ride back.
So now, not only
Yeah.
am I coming back, I'm coming back as a completely different dude.
Yeah.
So that was a pay-per-view on a bike and a completely different gimmick, pretty much.
Yes.
I mean, the coat was the same, but I mean the guy was completely different. You're running through all those different, everything that can go wrong. If this doesn't work, you shit the bed right
Yeah.
there. You know. Fortunately, it was the right move at the right time.
You get into the business, and then you're traveling around. You end up in USWA. You go to WCW. Okay, I start off. You know, I'm in Dallas. I go to USWA, and all of a sudden, man, I'm getting to WCW. And the ante kind of gets a little higher, and I'm seeing a lot of things I've never seen before. And that's guys on the road doing a lot of things. Man, all of a sudden, it was like a whole different ball game.
Once I got to WCW, I kind of, you know, I mean, everything was so rampant. The things that you see are just, you try to tell people outside of
Right.
our industry some of the excesses.
Right.
And they look at you like, man, you're full of crap. There ain't nobody does that, you know, like rock stars do that. Well, I've been in situations where I put some rock stars to bed, you know, not, you know.
No, it's one
not
of the famous stories, though. Can I mention the band?
you can.
Man, there was a story that I had heard, man. We were somewhere, and it might have been overseas, but Cypress Hill was at that hotel. And, man, Cypress Hill was known as they would party down. And I wasn't there, but I just heard that you walked in with a bottle. Tell a story.
Well,
Well, here, cheers.
Yeah, I need this to get. Ah, it's good stuff. That hit spot, man. So, you know, back then, I think, you know, it's pretty commonly known that I burnt the midnight oil. Work was always first, but there was always that camaraderie with the guys I really enjoyed. And, you know, it had a lot to do with drinking whiskey and, you know, hanging out, telling stories like we all do. Anytime we get together, we all sit down, we start telling stories. So this is in the backside probably of a 17-day tour. And I'm like, all right, guys, look, I've been going hard every night. I said, I'm going to stay in. I'm going to take a break. We still got 3 or 4 days left, and we had some.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, I had to pace myself. And one day out of 17, I was going to take off, right? But we did. We had Amsterdam and Berlin and all these places coming up. I wanted to be fresh and ready to go, right? So we get back, and I was going to go up to my room. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go in the bar and say hello to everybody, and then I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to go to bed. So I come strolling in the bar, still got my bags, you know, all that. take, somebody screaming, you know, come here, hey, come over here. It was our guys.
Yeah.
But then there were some of the guys from Cypress Hill. They were on tour over there, you know. I was like, hey, guys, what's going on? You know, I was being polite, you know, asking tour questions and all that. And I was like, all right, man, well, hey, it's nice to meet you guys. And I'll catch y'all down the road, you know. And start turning around and you hear that, oh, man, I heard you could party. I heard you could go. You know, and it was like kind of, you know, it's like, you know, I turned around. I tried, yeah, I've been going pretty good, you know. I said, oh, man. And then, you know, somebody else mouthed off, I don't know, you know. And I was like, okay, I'm staying.
See, because I look at your eyes right now when you say, okay, I'm staying. That's more than a statement that you're hanging around.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you down.
Yeah, somebody just smarted off just a little. You don't know me.
Yeah.
You know, I got no ill will.
Yeah.
It was just it was a moment, and that's how everybody was. But
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I get, you know, well, you just probably shouldn't have said that. So here we go, and drank all the whiskey. So we closed the bar down. You know, there's still people standing upright, right? So I don't know how I ended up. It was me and X-Pac. And we end up in one of the guys' room. They're known for their, you know, their cannabis intake. You know, that's never been my deal. It was never my deal. But I remember sitting in this room, you know, with a bunch of people I really didn't know, and there's like this haze. You know, it kind of sit like the fog had come and sit down at a certain level, right? And I'm sitting on the desk. I'm looking around, and there's only like 2 people left that are upright, and then there's bodies like just laid out everywhere. And I turned to say something to X-Pac. Well, X-Pac is asleep on my shoulder like this, right? I gave X-Pac the nudge, and I said, and you know, he was, what up, Take? You know, like he's been there the whole time, right? Yeah. You know, Sean, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Take? Huh? Yeah. I said, kid, I think our work here's done. He went, oh, okay, all right. So I pick him up. The door opens and a big plume of smoke falls out into the hallway. You know, and it's like the gunfight at the OK Corral, right? Because believe me, I was feeling it. And I remember coming down the next day, boy, and I was bad. I felt bad that next morning. We had an early call, and I'm telling myself in my room, I'm like, you're going to go down, and you're going to be Joe, and I'm feeling my head's pounding. But I come down there, man, and I was like, hey, guys, you know, they're all, you know, they're still trying to call and get guys out of their rooms and everything else, you know, and I'm like, hey, guys, how y'all doing? Where y'all going today? Like, you know, I'm just no selling it to you know,
Dude, that story was so legendary because, like, man, dude, you know, Taker went in there and he wasn't even going to do anything, and he was the only guy that walked out. Well, you're carrying X-Pac. But that, I mean, the boys always respected you anyway, and just the kind of path you blazed. But that night just amplified everybody's respect for you. There's this one picture of the back of a bus, and a bunch of us guys are around a circular table. Talk to me about this picture and what it means to you, because you know a lot more about this than I did because you got better memory.
This picture is so significant in so many different ways. So this tour that we're on, and this is getting close to the end of the tour. So Nash and Hall are about to go to WCW. Jerry Briscoe, Paul Bearer, you got X-Pac. Look at that. Triple H.
Here's the thing about Triple H. Triple H does not drink.
Nope.
Every now and then, in a blue moon, he will have one beer or one drink with the guys, just, you know, because he's one of the guys. But, you know, sometimes there's always that saying, hey, never trust a guy that don't drink.
I never felt that with him.
No, but every now and then he would drink. But even if he didn't, everybody knew that was his gig. That was who he was. He wasn't an alcohol guy. So you respected that.
Yeah, no, you respect it because it's hard. It's hard in this business, in this atmosphere.
I've never seen a guy drunk in my life. He would have one drink.
There's enough drinkers in that picture right there that he didn't need to really have anything to drink. But that was a really significant point in our industry and what was about to happen. So Nash and Hall are about to go to WCW. And then the Monday night, they're going to start kicking our ass and, you know, with Nitro. I mean, that all happened shortly after this picture was taken.
Let's talk about the Attitude Era a little bit, because I'm sure you were there at the Garden when the hug, what do they call that? When they broke kayfabe in the Garden. Were you there?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, I was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was up. And then all of a sudden, Nash all go south.
Yeah.
And then Shawn would go south. And then Triple H and Shawn stayed.
Yeah.
And couldn't put the heat to Shawn because
Right.
he was world champion.
Right.
And at the time he had a chip. And so Triple H got the,
He got-
punishment.
yeah.
And I ended up winning King of the Ring. He was supposed to win King of the Ring.
Right.
And that set me up for everything. But anyway, so you've been here through all of it. And all of a sudden, when they decided to go head to head with us, and it's Nitro versus Raw, what was your head at on all that? And we're in a war, and we're getting our ass handed to us
Yeah.
for 2 years straight. And I'm thinking, man, what in the hell is going on? And now they had, at times they had a pretty hot show. But sometimes I'm watching and we'd be, using a VCR or whatever.
Right.
Like, man, our show's way better than that. But we got our ass handed to us. Back to you. Where was your head in all this?
Well, initially, when they started drumming us, we were still doing some lame stuff initially.
Yes.
We were still gearing our content for a younger demographic, where they were hitting that 18 to 36, 18, 35 demographic hard.
Right.
So it was a little frustrating to me because I knew what they were doing is where we needed, and I knew once the switch flipped, I knew what would happen, and it did. I know, Vince is too smart. It just took, it all worked out for the right reasons, but it was frustrating because this is where I knew this is the same reason that we wanted to be at WCW way back when.
Right.
We wanted to be more reality based. We want to be, we want to be out there kicking ass and
Yeah.
taking names and not having to do all these different things. So it was really frustrating, but I always looked at it, people say, why didn't you leave? I never forgot what I was told. I don't even care who, I don't even know really at that point who was in charge down there.
Right.
Bischoff, I guess he was in charge, but I never forgot who gave me my opportunity. And that was Vince. And then it's not, it's probably not the most sound business decision, but that's just who I am. And if that ship went down, I was going to go down with him. But I knew eventually it would turn. And when
Big picture was a hell of a decision. It was
Yeah.
the ultimate decision.
Yeah.
When the chips were down before the business came back up, and I heard it was pretty hard times. But how close were you with Vince? Because you guys had joined at the hips, seemingly. I'm thinking you guys were always close, just because of the gimmick, and because you always stayed. You were the one constant. You turned into a locker room leader, whether you wanted to or not. You were just that guy. How close were you with that guy, or saying, "Hey, man, we should do this," or where were you?
We had a really good creative collaboration, and it just through the years, our friendship,
Yeah.
our friendship grew. But he obviously trusted my judgment with a lot of the things with the character. It was originally his vision, but he gave me a lot of creative liberty with it. And he trusted me when I felt like I needed to turn into the American Badass. So he obviously must have felt it too. We've butted heads and things have been rough, but at the end of the day, our passion is the same. We want to put out the best product possible. And like you said, I never thought of myself as the locker room leader. It just kind of happened in a sense, it's just because I was there for everything. And I tell people this sometimes, and I never mean for it to come off like I'm being an asshole, but I've made, times were so hard, so lean when business was so bad, I've made more in one payoff than I did in a whole year.
Yeah.
Something else, it's just another little thing that I put in the back of my head, because I know this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
And regardless if we butt heads or we don't agree, which is going to happen, it's a creative business. We're not going to always see eye to eye. You and I may not have the same vision on a finish, but we'll get there.
Right.
That's just the process. And it's the same with him, but we know where we got to be. I always knew that's, regardless, he gave me my chance.
Right.
No telling where I would have been if he hadn't given me the chance. And I just never forgot that. And like I said, if that ship would have went down, I'd have been sharing that life with him.
I want to go back to the body of work real quick, because it started off in that mode, and then all of a sudden, after a couple of years, American Badass, and then Big Evil.
It was kind of a hybrid American Badass, Undertaker. I was doing the same stuff. I was just changing the look.
Right.
And then after American Badass, that's when I kind of hybrid everything together.
Right.
And then allowed myself, because I'd already been there,
Yep.
it allowed me to work a little differently, which I think I needed to, just because of our audience.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to
Yeah.
get to, because you segued into the 5-star match, zone where you would rip it up with Shawn Michaels, in 25 or 26, a match of the year, or was it 27, 28 with Triple H?
Yeah, we went. I always look at that as that was a 4-year kind of a program. The 2 with Shawn, and then the story continued with Triple H.
Yep.
So I always look at that as a 4-year program, and those matches were really tough. We had such high standards. The match that Shawn. I mean, say what you want, man. That boy can work. And I mean, I remember sitting there, me and Triple H looking at each other like, we got, but we figured it out. Like, we can't do what Shawn and I did. We have to go a completely different route. So the brutality and the physicality was off the charts with Triple H and I.
Yeah.
But the story continued. All 4 of those matches were story-based.
Oh, absolutely.
If you didn't get hooked into that match right there on the finish, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't put my own shit over, but that was really, really special, and I was really proud. Not only the match itself, but the story. The story was just, to be able to go 4 years and.
What are your thoughts when you see that picture? Because, everybody talks about protecting the business.
Yeah.
And so there you guys, it's kind of that brotherhood moment.
Well,
And-
at this moment right now, Shawn's already retired, and you look in my eyes, that didn't look like the guy to me. And I remember it vividly. I don't know that I'm coming back next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At that point, that right there is about as real as it gets.
To me, that was like one of those feel-good moments, like, God dang, man, excuse my language, we just blew the fucking roof off this place. Yeah. And, everybody was digging it. And then that little send-off, that's almost like an encore.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't called. That happened.
Right.
That's organic, right?
Really?
There. Yeah. And it just felt, everything about that felt right. And the match, and the way the finish turned out was really, really proud of that.
Those 2 guys were 2 of your best opponents. What was the difference between coming down from a match, because you'll know what I'm talking about, dude, when you're this high and you go back there and you rocked it, how long for you did that satisfaction or high stay with you?
Not long, because after the adrenaline wears off, then the pain comes back.
There was that
Pain,
much.
Yeah, it is bad.
You were totally living in pain then.
Yeah, all 4 of those. I enjoyed it for the minute. I don't know. I say maybe an hour. After that,
Right.
you just kind of want to set, because there's such a build up to the match and everything that goes around WrestleMania, and then you go out, and then if you're lucky and you feel like you deliver, like on the build up and the hype and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else, then you just it's just kind of, fuck, we did it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then you sit there, and I know for me, and I would sit there for damn near an hour, and then it was when it's time to try to get up and change or something, then it's kind of like, okay, here's the reality. The reality is you're battered, man. You're beat up, and now this is what your reality is for the next few weeks. And it's been that way from that point to today. I know what's coming. I know what's coming afterwards.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it's worth it. And at this point, pretty much everybody from our generation, everybody's gone. It's not so much about the matches anymore. It's about personal challenges with me at this point. Sometimes Vince wants me to do a favor and do a show, and it's about the challenge of it. Can you get yourself to the level that you need to go out and perform at a level people expect you? And that's my biggest demon at this point, because I know that the window is shrinking, and my biggest fear is becoming a parody of myself, and that's something that I struggle with. Like, I don't want to stay too long. I always told myself, don't stay too long, And there's some days, some matches happen. I'm like, I stayed too long, and then you come back, and then you tear it down again. I was beat up to here. I mean,
I thought this was the end. And
I did too. Honestly, I thought it was all over. I was like, this is going to be worth more than coming out and giving any speech or doing anything, because that just don't fit. It doesn't fit to what I do. I said, this will register more with our audience. Sure enough, I got talked into coming back, and once I start training and once I start getting ready for something, then you get caught up in it. But at this moment, I'm not coming back.
But you're at a point now, okay, WrestleMania is one of your legacies for lasting as long as you have. And that would have been seemingly a perfect time to walk away. But I was remiss in missing talking about the streak. It is unprecedented, it is unheard of, it will never, ever be duplicated. At one point, you were 21-0. If, looking at this picture, we would have gone 3 years back in history at WrestleMania 30 against Brock Lesnar, when he defeated you to take your record to 21-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match, Brock Lesnar!
Would that have been, or was that a good time to walk away?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. I guess it could have been. The thing with this match, though, not everybody knows. Somewhere within the first 5 minutes of this match, I get concussed.
I never knew that.
I don't even remember this night. I mean, I've watched it back now. I obviously know. My last memory that I can definitively tell you happened at about 3:30 in the afternoon when my wife came backstage and we had a conversation. That's the last thing that I remember on my own of that day. At this point in my career, there is a huge process of me getting ready between the stretching, visiting the doctors, doing everything that I have to do to get myself ready to go out and perform. It's gone. And when I say process, we're talking about an hour and a half, 2 hour process that's just completely gone. My memory picks up, I want to say 4:30, 5 in the morning when I'm in the hospital, and they're coming to check on me every few minutes, asking me my name, and I've got no clue.
You were at the hospital after that match?
Oh yeah, I walked back, I went through Gorilla, and I sat down, and then next thing that I remember is I'm in the hospital, and there's doctors and nurses keep coming in, every 5 minutes. What's your name? What's your birth date? Where are you? Got no clue. The only thing I remembered was my wife's first name. And I got to the point where, they come in and they ask me where I was at. I got no clue where I'm at, no idea what my birthday is. So they leave, and I call her, and babe, come here. Where am I? She's like, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna cheat for you on this. You gotta, you gotta remember this on your own. And I'm getting hot at her because she won't tell me where the hell I'm at, and I got no clue.
Yeah.
I've watched it back, I don't know, 10, 15 times now. I can't pick out where it happened. It was nothing Brock did. I think him not knowing that I was concussed, and I kept taking belly to back suplexes, but I mean that's not on him because I was still moving.
Right.
When I watch it, I can tell that I'm lethargic.
Right.
Like that I'm not moving and I'm not thinking like I would be normally. I think that's probably after, that's kind of what set in motion, because this screwed me up. This screwed up my confidence. And you figure after, you've had a career of 25 plus years and you've seen every situation, you don't get shook up. Well, that is a false belief, because this shook me up because I couldn't pinpoint where I got concussed. My training, I'm like a fighter at this point. So, basically I'm in camp.
Yep.
To try and peak on this night, And I think what I did By doing it that way, I think I went to the well one time too many. My body, although I was trained and I was in shape, but I don't think my body was ready for the trauma. So the simplest of bumps, a belly to back suplex, that's the only thing that I can figure. It rung my bell, and you know, Dr. Maroon, he equated it, it was like, you're like a lamp, and somebody come and unplugged you. Your mind stopped making memories. That ate me up a while, and it took me a while to figure out, like, then it became personal with me, like, no, I'm not gonna go out my last match and not be able to remember it.
Man, seeing you like that, I worked with you 100 years ago in the SummerSlam in the Garden, Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 20 seconds into that match, I got knocked out. I kicked you on the backdrop, head come up, hit me here. Wasn't nobody's fault, it just happened. Yep. And I didn't remember a thing after that. And I'm sitting right across from the table from you now. Man, I was like, I felt so bad that I couldn't give you the best I had. And I don't even remember the match. I finished it.
Yeah.
You were there,
Yeah.
and everybody saw me finish it. But I don't remember a damn thing. But it haunts me to sit across from you today when you had, you know, all those great matches with Shawn and Triple H and Mick. And, dude, I don't know, for some reason, maybe we were so similar. I don't know what it was. But getting knocked out and not being able to deliver the goods with you, one of the all-time greats in the history of the business, still haunts me to this day.
Well, it shouldn't, because, look, I mean, things happen. It's not ballet. Things happen in the ring. We know that. You got to remove yourself a little bit and look at the big picture of this thing. It was something that happened. It was something that happened here. I don't blame Brock for me getting concussed.
Right. But where are you right now? I mean, we're sitting here talking.
So, you know, regardless of anything, I'm going to write my own story, and I'm going to write my own ending.
We used to joke many years ago. I was all beat to shreds, and you were kind of beat up too. Man, which one of us is going to tap out first?
Right, yeah.
And it was me, and I had to pull my own plug, but it was a lot of neurological stuff. But I always say, if we'd have taken better care of ourselves, I might have lasted longer. You've lasted as long as you have. But had we known about nutrition and not running so hard, I don't know, maybe I could have snuck another year or two out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Speculation.
it is. It's all speculation.
God dang, I had fun.
You had fun. Your mark in the industry that will never be taken away. You know, I look at things sometimes now, because obviously I've got fewer matches in front of me than I do behind me. You know, that's just the way it is. But, you know, there's only one person that I've come across that has been really at perfect peace with himself by pulling the plug, and that's Shawn.
Yeah,
He knew when we walked out of the ring the second time,
26.
he was done.
Yeah.
And he was at perfect peace. Sometimes I look at you guys and I think maybe that was kind of a somewhat of a blessing. I mean, obviously I'm not, you know, I mean, it's taken away parts of things, but you didn't have to make the decision. It was kind of made for you. You know, you still had, you know, when it happened, you still had rubber on the tires.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. But the decision was pretty much made for you.
I had to pull my own plug, and so it wasn't a doctor telling me. It was me like saying, "Hey, man, you're done. You just call it off."
Yeah.
So that was the story on that.
But you're smart enough to know what the long term, and you run the risk. And
Yeah.
I run the risk. Sometimes I go out now, I feel great. Other times I don't feel so good. What happens is when you start having to think, when you start thinking about what you're doing, that's when it becomes really dangerous.
Yeah.
You have to go out there with a clear mind and do what you're out there to do. Once you start worrying about, well, if I do this, am I going to blow is my knee going to blow out sideways? That's when it becomes really dangerous, and then it breaks down everything that you do. There's no continuity. There's no fluidity. You
can't work with fear.
You can't work with fear, not in this business.
And the other guy's trusting you with his life. So
Exactly.
What are you going to do to him?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
And you deal with it? I had to deal with it. I didn't deal with it in a real good fashion.
yeah, that's part of it. You know, I think, like I said, it's important that I write my own story about how I do this. Every time I go out, I'm going out one time. You know.
Got you.
I went out and, I had that match in Saudi.
I saw that. A rough night at the office. But you took a bad bump on the backside of that, because he was out on his feet. And God dang, man, when you start, the list of injuries that you've had, the list of orthopedic surgeries you've had is up by 20. You're a tough son of a bitch. But God dang, man, when is enough is enough? When are you looking to gift horse in the mouth or going to the well? One too many times.
Yeah.
There's got to be some finality somewhere.
And what's so funny is, like, I came back right after that. I was still feeling the effects from that match. But, man, I know you're the same way. Pride is a sumbitch. And it doesn't matter. You're on the face of the Mount Rushmore. But just like you just told me, it still bothers you that you didn't give me the match that you felt like I deserved it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that be the last thing that people remember. Wasn't anybody's fault. It's just one of them bad nights at the office. It was so bad, almost didn't make it back. But I came back. It's a joke around my house because, I've retired. I've retired 15 times. Yeah. I tell my wife, Michelle, I think that's it, babe. She rolls her eyes at me. She goes, yeah, until November when you start training again. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm very cognizant of where I'm at physically. And I just have to let that side kind of have its say. And then I got to let my ego have its say. What gets me is when people tell me what I need to do. Nobody knows what I need but me, in the sense of when it's time to when I'm going to hang it up. If we got off camera here and you go, if you were just coming to me and say, man, it might be about that time, Mark. I would take that into consideration because I have that respect, and you've earned that respect with me. But for somebody that hasn't walked in my boots to tell me, I've had the same conversations with Shawn and Triple H. I've had these conversations with people. I was like, look, you guys would tell me, right? But that's a tough chip to put on somebody. How am I supposed to tell The Undertaker it's time to hang him up?
Right.
So
right now, when you look back, and obviously you're going to go in the Hall of Fame, and you're one of the all-time greatest ever to lace up a pair of boots, what do you think about your contributions to the business? Or what do you think about what you did? The guy that no one was ever going to pay nothing to see wrestle.
I'm proud. I feel very blessed, honestly, to have the career. I was fortunate. I think preparation and luck, what's the old saying, preparation and luck create opportunity. All the surgeries, everything, it's all been worth it to me. Because I've got to do, for 30 plus years, I've got to do what I love every day. And not everybody can say that. So, as far as my contributions, hopefully 10 years from now, people will still, they'll still remember some of the stuff that I did. Those were good times, bro. Did you ever watch the documentary When We Were Kings?
No.
Oh, it's awesome. It's about Ali and Frazier and all. And this is when we were kings.
Yeah.
Times, this was good. Well, I didn't appreciate that one bit. But.
Man, when I look back some of these, I ain't a real sentimental person, and God dang, I love Mick. I know you do too.
Yeah.
I had such a good time in the business, and it was the thing I enjoyed most in my life out of everything that I've ever done. Yeah. I get emotional talking about it. I want to start crying on the show. There's us. That's either Kuwait.
That's Kuwait,
United
man.
Arab Emirates. If you remember on those tours,
yeah, man.
if you remember on those tours, they always said, "Hey, man, there ain't no alcohol over there."
Yeah.
And I would say to someone at the time, "That's cool, man. I'll just go down there and I'll dry out for 2 weeks." Well, you get over there and you want a damn drink, and all of a sudden they got the kayfabe stuff.
Yeah.
Remember that time we went over to Afghanistan and went and saw the snipers, and snipers had all the stash and said, "Load me up with a bunch of beer," but. Man, those were some special times right there. Look, I had the double earrings, man. Well, that's how cool I was.
Man, you were kicking it, man.
Yeah, I had to have that 19-inch neck to support that gold chain.
At least.
Hey, before we go home, let's end up on a high note here. I've got a long-standing, long-awaited apology that I got to deliver to you.
To me.
Yep. And I'm trying to hit the go home button, but I gotta go here.
You got to apologize.
I got to apologize for something. It's Insurrection 2001, Manchester.
Was this the year?
That's the year. I almost chopped off the Undertaker's ear right there. Dude, I never knew this. I can feel your ear.
It's still there. That was just for the business there moving. Baby Earl's like, man, your ear's jacked up.
Yeah.
So it ain't me you need to apologize. You need to know who you need to apologize to?
Who?
Kurt Angle.
Oh, no, I got that story. So you, me, and whoever had to basically take a shower in a sink because we had to get out of the airport.
The noise, yeah.
Yeah, we had to make the deadline. So we basically shower in the sink, and then we get on the airplane. And then you're basically holding your head, and you're kind of in and out of consciousness from what JBL described the story.
Yeah.
I'm over there drinking. I didn't know, or this is how oblivious I was back then. Dude, I was riding a lightning bolt. You know what I'm saying? So here's why the apology is happening heartfelt now, because I don't remember apologizing to you back then. So I'm doing my thing. You're in and out. The boys are partying. And then all of a sudden, hell, it's Kurt and Vince getting into a wrestling match. Dude, we're 40,000 feet in the air. This is called the plane ride from hell. Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. Michael P.S. Hayes gets his ponytail cut off, and Vince and Kurt are fighting. You wake up and you see Kurt on top of Vince, and Vince is your guy because, you know, he's the boss, and he hired you, and he believed in you. And like, ain't nobody gonna choke out the boss. So you walk up behind him and put a sugar on him.
I did.
And put the Olympic gold medals to sleep.
So they were going at it. It was a charter plane, so they had all the big first class seats, and I was like in the section because I could get my legs completely straight out. So I was in the first row after that first class on this charter, and it was the flight from hell. But anyway, so I was out, and they were right in front of me. They were in my feet. Like, so when I come to, I look, you know, and I hear all this, and I see Kurt on Vince, right? And it just went, oh, hell no, right? If I could steal your phrase for a second. So, man, I did. I locked, I was in tight, too. And finally, Kurt was like, Dick, he could barely get it out. He was like, Dick, you choking me. And then somebody by that time said, no, they're just playing. And I was like, oh, shit. And I let go, stepped back down in my seat, went back out.
Man, I'm sorry about almost tearing your ear off.
Hey, if that's the worst thing that happened to me over my career, I'll be all right, man.
After all these years, God dang, I know I hit you with a bunch of potatoes, but that's the way we worked back then. And you were always with those big swinging door punches, were just gentle as a lamb out there, and I was just throwing a bunch of potatoes. Apologize to them, too.
That's all right. I didn't mind when I cashed them checks, though, brother. See, that gives you the out right there.
Yeah. It's awesome to hang out with you, and it's awesome to see you smile because you're a guy with a great sense of humor. But when you go into character, it's like almost nothing can ever break you. And there's been times when I've gone out there and tried to break you. And one time we was over in Kuwait, and we was on the side of the ring, and Briscoe was out there. And boy, you flipped your hair back. And for some reason, I had the giggles, and I just bursted out laughing. And you started laughing your ass off.
Yeah, so.
Tell me the story on that.
That's,
I got you.
In 30 years, all right, I can probably count on one hand the number of times that I've actually broke. What that was, to backtrack a little bit, so if you remember, it was like a soccer stadium, right?
Yes.
So, you know, we're all feeling pretty good about ourselves, right? Oh, man, we got this soccer stadium. Police escorts everywhere. We roll up into that stadium, and there might be 800 people in that stadium. And we're all looking like, what? Because, you know, we're rocking it all over the world, right? And we go into the stadium, and there's like 800 people. It's a 40,000 seat stadium, and there's 800 people there, right? Before I get to what you did to me, do you remember the headlock chain?
You tell the story.
This is the most hokey shit that you ever gonna say. It started out, so it was a battle royal of some sort, or that was what it was. And this is our stuff was happening in the same match. It was a battle royal. Anyway, somebody grabs a side headlock. And then somebody else grabs the guy that's got the side headlock, grabs them in a side headlock. And then the next guy grabs that guy. So there ends up with like a 6-7 man daisy chain headlock.
Yeah.
And it's like, it must have been a lumberjack. I don't know what kind of match it was, but there's an 8-man daisy chain headlock, and it just went downhill from there. So I remember being on the apron. I was right in the corner. I was right here, and you were you're on the other side, and there's the ring post, and I turn this way, and I turn back to look, and I bet our faces are this close together, right? Which is, you know, you just think about at the time, Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And you just laughed at me, like, I think he even pointed at me and was just like, ah! like, I'm just thinking about, like, what am I gonna do? And, you know, I'm like, crap, there's 800 people here. There ain't nobody gonna know that and I did. I think I busted out laughing.
You did. And then the caveat to the daisy chain headlock story was we were all in the daisy chain. I can't remember who started and who stopped it, but we was there, and Aldo Montoya was on that tour, and he was walking around. I said, dude, get in. And I mean, like, go to the front of the line and grab a headlock, because if you cinch it up, you got control of everybody. He went on the back end and stuck his head underneath somebody's arm.
He stuck his head under the guy who was in the original headlock. That's right.
Like, dude, you could have been the king of the world. All you had to do was go to front of the chain.
He had the whole.
God dang it, man.
He had the whole roster. He could have been the king of the world.
Yeah.
He went to the ass end of the daisy chain.
One other thing, if you remember, before we get into this reel, I want to show you one other thing. We were doing a test of strength. Were you there when we started doing the daisy chain test?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, because you're the one that did the power display. So anyway, a test of strength is if Mark and I lock hands here and here, and there we go, and God dang, you know. Yeah. So we're up there, we're working it, and you were doing it with somebody, and I went, I chopped in and joined in, turned it to a three-way. And so everybody caught the fever and started chopping in. Before you know it, we had about 8 guys on a test of strength.
It's awful.
The most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your life. But it's a bought show. And so there's a little bit of guy going on. And all of a sudden, when you went like that, for the power position, I immediately went down, and everybody went down to their knees, and you were standing on top.
No. Before that, though, no. Before, it's even worse than that.
What?
You were the farthest away from me.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, we were like this,
yes.
And there's everybody's like that. So when I initially did it, nobody here sold. You sold it, and I wasn't even touching you. And then everybody figured out that they needed to sell it because you went down. It was so bad.
While I got you on the ropes, I take you to some of the finer moments of when people were trying to break the Undertaker.
Oh, here we go. He was good.
You know what you need? You need a vacation. You need to get you an RV and go for a couple thousand miles. You know, get some good
This is so good.
A couple dogs, a cat, little baby, woman.
I'm biting a hole in my lip.
For a little vacation. That right there will make you.
You can see, look at me.
Upset. You hear
See me biting my lip?
Because right now you're afraid I'm going to turn it upside down. Almost got you. Now damn sure got me.
And you, Chris Jericho.
I almost got you here.
Kane. Undertaker.
This all that love is one take.
We got a deal. And Stone Cold. Whether we like each other or not, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
Because we're going into invasion. We're going into this with both WCW and ECW breathing down our necks.
Breathing down our necks. They're breathing it.
Now,
Oh, this is the biggest swerve ever.
I think it's time
Were you hot here?
for the Undertaker, Rooney.
No, I wasn't hot, but I was like, how am I going to get out of this? That's what I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking right now is how I'm going to get out of this.
You put them up to that, Vince, and when I get back there, I better not see you, because I'm looking for you. There ain't a chance in hell I'm going to get out here and do the spin-a-rooney, so you might better send the cavalry.
This is gold.
Oh, this is.
It's what I love about Vince. Mm-hmm. I mean, that and what he's about to do in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, to go to the nth degree.
Look at it. Look at that. Look.
What a showman.
He's too much.
The ultimate honor.
And that was halfway through that.
Yeah.
They kept sending guys.
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't remember. It got a big enough distraction where I left. I ran. I didn't run, but I power walked out, and he sent Big Show after me. And I come back through the curtain. And Big Show was reaching for me, and I said, "Big man," I said, "You may whoop my ass in the end, but you're gonna eat something before you get me back through that curtain again." And he just went, "Okay." But that went on for a good hour of them trying to get me to do the Take a Rooney. Yeah. And you know what else I remember? You're afraid of the claw. What am I supposed? Here we go. I mean, this is when business is rocking.
Yeah.
And here you have Stone Cold against The Undertaker. You're afraid of the claw. And
You're afraid of the claw.
I couldn't laugh then, but I can sure laugh now. Oh, well, hey.
Do you remember the times, and I was going to do it, but I talked so much with my hands I didn't do it. There was a couple times I tried to get you, and I would get a Sharpie, and I was going to do it for this session we had, and I would do the test strength with you. I'd go, look into my eyes, and I would have an eye with the eyebrows painted on my palm. I got a big-ass palm, and you'd look, and you'd be like, man, it's been a good time going back down memory road. But this is the first Broken Skull session, I hope, of many to come. And I couldn't have started off with anybody bigger or better than you. Hopefully, we can do it again, because really, when you look at the totality of everything that you've done, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. But it's been good to sit across the table from you for so many years, because I've known you for so long. But like I said, we just never got a chance to get to know each other because we just ran in different circles.
We were grinding, man.
But we were grinding, but we both come from Texas, and we both have so many things that we...
Tell me that. How did two rednecks from Texas end up in a studio? That's got me a little baffled.
I'm glad you said that, because that was one of the things that I was thinking of when I was trying to come up with, like, God dang, man, what do you talk with a living legend that's done as much as you in such a short amount of time? I don't know. If you'd have told me this was going to happen way back in the day, that you and I would be sitting, here talking about what we did, or today about what you did, so I said, you're full of shit. But here we are. It goes back to, I know you're a big country music fan. You love George Strait like I do. Like Waylon Jennings. That old song, Living Legends. Living Legends are a dying breed.
Yep.
Only few of us left. Tell you the truth, I ain't been feeling real good myself.
Yep.
So I am glad that you look as good as you look. I know you're constantly in pain. I hope everything was worth it. I know that it was.
Oh, absolutely.
I've enjoyed knowing you. I've enjoyed watching you, and I've enjoyed talking to you. One shot for the road.
Absolutely, man. I don't do this often, you know that. So
Yes, I do.
I appreciate you having me on, and I hope you much success. And that you reference George Strait, and you'll appreciate Troubadour.
I do. I know where you're coming from.
There you go.
Broken Skull Sessions with The Undertaker and Mark Calloway. Cheers.
Enjoyed it.
Appreciate talking to you. I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, a living legend. Been a good time here. I look forward to catching you down the road. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.